Hi, everybody. Took a bit to get my internet to work, but it's working. Yay. Eva, welcome. How is it now? You can hear me?
I'm sorry, I'm on mute.
No problem. Yeah, now I hear you.
Yeah, it was really beautiful for me. Like I felt so much of no separation,
Yeah,
like all
yeah.
kinds of different layers of that.
Just melting away.
Yeah.
Just beautiful.
Wow,
Yeah.
everything is so different then when, when it's not like that.
Mm.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Eva. Mm. Love. Liliana.
Thank
Mm.
This is so
So,
kind.
it's lovely to feel, Liliana. Something has really shifted for you.
The moment we started, it was obvious there's nothing wrong. Like all that
Yeah.
made up, most beautiful.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah. Beauty. Thank you. Mm.
I love your Facebook stuff. Thank you so much for posting. It's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That is.
Hi, Isaac.
I.
A few days ago, I met my mother, and it's better by now. But there was such such strong energy in the body, and it's, just yeah, so much contraction. It was like total helplessness and fear and terror and like.
For me, it's always useful when, like, really strong sensations come up and then the interpretation of them, just to really gently notice wherever there's some resistance or some wanting to defend or some wanting to change or get rid of. Not that it's wrong or right or anything like that, but just it's worth letting that show up, because that it's such a automatic knee-jerk response, and whenever that response kicks in, it's not something we do, but whenever it does kick in like that, it makes it much stronger, and it also makes us feel out of control and helpless. So and those are just layers piling up on top, from the original information, So it's so worth it just to gently notice that, and then in that noticing, going, okay, I see you trying to help. I see that resistance or wanting it to be different is trying to help it. And then just maybe looking for the 100th time or the 1000th time, what does that resistance do? Because as soon as it's such a well-worn neural pathway, it takes looking again and again fresh, just so that the system can, okay, there's something here coming up to be seen, welcome. So it's not personal. We have no idea where it comes from. It's just, okay, something's coming to be seen. Yeah, also whenever there's resistance or defending against it, it always makes it seem personal. It always makes it seem.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, it is like that. It works the same in all of us.
And then it feels like it's never ending. It's like this trap.
It really ends up feeling very trapped, and like when the mind is projecting it into the future, it's never going to end and all that. So it really gets to be very big, very quickly, very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how quickly it can pass over too. It's just like it can be intense, and then next thing it's just.
Yeah, next moment laughing about it, and then it comes back and it's intense again, and it's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I've got these. Sure.
oh,
Oh, Sandra. Hi. Beauty and thank you.
Can you say again?
Beauty and thank you.
Same, same. Thank you so much. I just want to say I was working a lot this week, and it's so beautiful to be back in this field.
Yeah, it recharges, huh?
Yes, completely. So thank you to you and the field.
Oh, beauty. Yeah. Mark, I think this is your first time, and you don't need a reason or invent anything to raise your hand. But you don't need to do it. You're free, so feel free and welcome to do that. And same for everybody. You're so welcome here. Christina, welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Mm, I have a question that rises lately. How to optimize myself, how to manifest my reality, the reality that I want, which will be within the will of God, which will be my will, and God's will be the same. So from I can't do, from this limiting beliefs of what I can do, to optimize myself into I can do everything and manifest what I want. And it seems like that I have to undo the limiting beliefs, each one, going through each of them. And is there optimal
Sounds
way
like
of shortcut?
that sounds like a lot of work. So let's play. Yeah, let's play. You know, ultimately, if you look, if somehow everything you ever wanted happens, what will that give you?
Can you repeat again?
Okay, yes. If you get everything your mind tells you you want, everything, what will that give you?
Um, not not everything, but
No, everything, everything. Then what will that give you?
what that would give me.
Yes.
I guess it will give me an opportunity to manifest more of what I believe
So,
that should be
so then
in this world.
then it'll never be enough. You'll be always running after more, yeah? Because I said if you could have everything, and then the next sentences, then I could get more.
But my perspective of that is they're kind of very self-interest kind of goals, but others they more for improving, for getting it in a ways to make it beautiful for everybody, for community, for humanity, you know. It's like it's not small, it's like something that is there is a bigger scene, bigger vision for to manifest, you know, for everything too. So if I can function optimally, so there are so many aspiration that comes out of me, they kind of they can beautifully manifest within the God's will, which can guide me into something that will prove, I don't know, the environment, the many things, you know, many ideas that will really make life beautiful. So
I understand.
yeah.
So in this moment, just this split instant now, when life looks through that perspective or that filter, how does it feel in the moment?
It's an inspiration for me.
No, so how does it feel?
If that would be.
Yes, so how does it feel when we hear, look, it's like, I'll put it another way. Here's the universe, yeah? Galaxies upon galaxies upon galaxies. And somehow the human mind has the capacity to go, if only you were different and better, and I know what better is. That's a capacity within the human mind, right?
Yes, it is. But how do you function? How do you understand? Because there are things that they can be done, like improving soil, taking care of the water. You know, the water is polluted, and taking care of that, and you know, optimizing everything, especially in within everything. You know.
So the most beautiful thing that you can bring to the moment is being at peace and letting love flow out of you, just like that. And you know, whilst that's happening, then enjoy gardening, enjoy mothering, enjoy everything that life has to offer. But the main thing is that you're at peace, because then you're not only bringing peace, but you're also inviting peace. So as humans, we have the capacity to postpone peace until things become the way we think they should be. And that's not a good idea.
I had to add something to that. I actually do feel very much at peace, and I do feel so blessed
Yeah.
being able to rest in this way anytime I want, to empty
Yes.
myself from anything.
Yes.
And
But then
there's
the
not,
idea comes that troubles you. How can I optimize?
it's not exactly troubling. It's kind of, I feel that I don't see it as a trouble. I see it as a opportunity that could be manifested, in this way, which could like bring, more happiness and joy to everybody, to everything, to environment around. So, but I'm not like very attached to that either. So I don't really like suffer from if it's not going to happen this way. So attachments to the result is not as it's used to be. There is
Yeah.
not, okay, I'm like, that would be great because that's my inspiration. I feel like it's flowing out of me in this way. And I feel like a lot of energy comes into that as well.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So you speak
so
beautifully. I
that's,
mean, it is, you see, it's interesting. It's like we're here
mhm.
in this instant. I mean, like really instant, millisecond. No thought, no intention, nothing. Just here. The entire universe, time, matter, energy, space, all appearing here. Not one movement into future or past, just here. And being caressed by and caressing back. So it's not moving into and it doesn't stop like they're being passionate about. You could say like, okay, how do we clean the rivers? How do we take care of what we can? But it's so present in a way. It's just like that whatever comes out of that presence is just pure overflow. It doesn't, it's otherwise what happens is our thinking creates a ripple, is all I can say. It just generates so the difference between just, for example, you're a mom, and there's this being that came through you. And if you have an idea of being a perfect mom, or you just have the idea of you just here as love. The one is stress, the one is, it's, you can feel the difference between those two.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, even the idea, how can I be even a better mom? It looks like such a sweet idea, but really it actually produces difficulty. Yeah.
Yeah, it produces a sense of need of improvement.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. So it's a paradox. It's a beautiful paradox because I hear your heart of wanting to be here. You could say in most simple words, being of service.
Mm-hmm.
So And if we look historically, there's been the three main paths have been inquiry, bhakti, this love of God and Guru, and then service. Those have been the three
Mm-hmm.
paths of people that have this interest, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so if we bring it all down to this instant, this millisecond, this resting as peace and love, and completely in love with that. That is all three combined. That's inquiry, love, and of course it benefits all beings.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes I out the picture because it recognizes that whatever that is breathing us, is making every atom dance, is moving every cell to do whatever it's doing. So beautiful question, and it's a deep question. It's, just
Because I have I feel like doing is not my first priority anymore. Resting in that is what calls me the most. But at the same time, there is like an inspiration comes out to do things as well, and I'm kind
of course,
of course.
Of course. And so those movements come or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
I feel it comes from the higher self,
I remember Papaji was talking about his life, and he said he'd met very few expressions of life that were completely lost in God. And he said one of them was this guy that lived on a garbage pile with maggots eating his sores. And this guy was so, for him, it was one of the, interesting just to, like, he wasn't in a palace, he wasn't even he was living in a garbage pile.
It reminds me of a story of Sri Ramana Maharshi. He was disassociated from anything worldly in a way that he would be just absorbed into this bliss completely.
And at the same time, like he had this amazing sense of humor, like the stories about him. Like at one point, like Ramana Ashram, like a body of people started trying to manage the ashram. And so the tradition at Ramana Ashram was they would feed all the sadhus in the area once a day, so they all got a good meal. And at one point there were some government officials, high government officials coming, and the management said, okay, tomorrow when these government officials come, we don't want any beggars here. So these high government officials came and they looked for Ramana and they couldn't find him anywhere. And when the government people had gone and Ramana came back, they said, where were you? These people came all the way to see you. He said, you didn't want any beggars here.
That's funny. You know, at the same time, it's very exciting because you don't know what's next.
It's totally true. You never know.
But there is a feeling that next is going to be better.
Yeah.
Since the truth is revealed,
Yeah.
it
But
feels like
it's
it's
like
just
this idea of better is a one worth looking at also. Because better belongs to the mind. It doesn't belong to
understand.
yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, so welcome. Some Hi.
Hi.
Lots of energy moving.
Thank you.
Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah. Mm. something. Glenn.
Oh, Isaac.
Hey, man.
Thanks. Can you hear me? Sorry. Was that on mute?
No, I hear you
Yeah.
perfectly. Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Just wanted to know, what's your experience? Is your experience that you're just awareness and everything else is like seen, like witnessed? You could say witnessed, but there's no witnesser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're watching the body going about its business. Whatever it does, but it's got nothing to do with you. Or because there is no you.
There's no you, and there's also no body, because it's really an activity. It's bodying, and it's not separate to totality. It doesn't exist for a moment without. Yes, yeah, and I mean, it doesn't exist at all. There's no boundary to it, because without breath, it doesn't think. So it's a process. It's just a flow. Everything's a flow, actually.
Yeah, because it's seeming like there is no me, and there's no controlling anything that's happening with this thing. It's just like seeing. That's I don't know. That sort of seems like.
Yeah.
And the more I stick with that, and the more I try not to change anything or alter anything, it seems to open up more. You're saying?
Yeah, yeah. It is like, I mean, in a sense, it's like that. Yeah, it's this funny thing. It's like, you know, if you're riding a bicycle, every moment, like, is this balancing thing, and somehow it knows how to do that. But there's no, you know, it's like, so it's an ongoing moment by moment, beautiful dance that's going on, you know, like, and then it's just doing its thing, you know, and it's like, and there's nobody really doing it. Somehow it's just, it knows how to do it, you know, something like
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, you know, it's like life is doing its dance, and, you know, these ideas come through on the screen of what it's all about. But if we deeply look, man, we don't have a clue. It's just, you know, it's just
Unfolding in front of you. Or not even in front of you.
yeah. I mean,
Where is
because
you?
it's like, well, it's like this thing is, you know, like all we have, if we look at it, are the sensations of the moment, which automatically get interpreted through our conditioning and our trauma. So we end up with, you know, perception, you could say, but it's a dream because it's interpretation. It's not. So it's like, and within that interpretation, also a sense of me happens. You know, it's like this also, which is just part of that kind of whole dream in a way.
Sure.
And then some things seem important and some things don't. I mean, it's just like this whole filter system of, you know, like, but then there's something that's just absolutely untouched, pristine, and this whole appearance is appearing, both the appearance and the interpretation is appearing in it, yeah? And yeah. And whatever that appearance is, it comes and goes. It's, you know, like waking state, it's here, deep sleep, it's gone again. So, and then somehow this capacity to remember makes it seem like there's some kind of continuity to the whole thing. But it's like memory is such a funny thing when you really look at it. It's like, wow, just.
Do you still have memory come up? Because the more I look at the memories, it's just like a more like you know, they're not really real, obviously, but it's more of a body. You're doing something, but you were never that in the first place. So it sort of like unravels a bit, you know, those things. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's funny because, you know,
They don't
like,
really come to you now. Huh?
yeah, it's like these. Well, I mean, it can. It's like someone asks you something, and then the mouth starts, you know, moving, and something comes out. But it's
If not prompted, but
yeah. It's otherwise. It's like this, you know, this. Yeah.
yeah. Cool.
Yeah. It's.
Thank you, Jose.
Yeah. Thank you, Glenn.
Isaac? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I see you.
So
Well,
that's good. So when there are, when there are no activities in your life, do you just rest in that state, no thought? What is your daily every moment?
How to say it? It's like the only real time there's no activity is in deep sleep, or otherwise in waking state, it's like, there's activity, you know, just it's like whether it's walking into the garden and pulling what we call weeds, or harvesting some fruit, or making a meal. I mean, it's just.
Does the intensity varies, the quantity of it? Like, let's say when you're very involved to the mundane tasks, you just like sometimes get attached more so, or moments when you just can sit and observe the nature, say, and then all of a sudden you just no more seeing the picture and you're just like, oh, absorbed into that, and it's more intense. So how does that, auxiliary like moves in you?
Yeah, I could say it's somehow there's not much of a preference for any particular thing. It's just like life, just doing its dance, and there's no idea of how it should be or it shouldn't be, and so
I understand that,
yeah, it's just like
it's just a flow, isn't it?
it's just because it's like for me, it's like going to bed at night, and it's like there's tiredness, and then who knows whether sleep really is deep and long and solid. It can be somehow waking and sleeping and waking and sleeping, and then other nights it's just a beautiful sleep the whole night through, and it's just like, and then waking up happens, and and looking at the computer, what appointments are there, like this, and life just does its very simple stuff without much thinking about it. It's just okay. And it's just like, it's much enjoyment. I love sitting with people. That's beautiful. But no, I love making a meal, and I love eating the meal, and I love taking a swim. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't think about it much, actually.
There are no preferences, yeah.
Yeah.
There are no preferences, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Somehow it's like that. And at some parts of the journey, there were preferences, and the preferences were believed in, and somehow at some point inquiry happened into them, and something got quieter. And so I think that's an ongoing process until you take the last breath.
Yeah, I think when we spoke last time, when in the session when I was at your place, we spoke about this infinite unfolding, infinite things that they go on, but the ultimate, that which sees everything, is the ultimate, that it's just like there is no word, no nothing. It just sees everything, and everything is just unfolds in front. But at the same time, things are keep going. Everything unfolds and changes, and preferences, preferences. It's like feeling of expansion as the consciousness happens, and like, oh, things are going on. Yeah.
It's because it's interesting. It's like in most of us, there's like a referencing activity that goes on that references everything to a me character. This means something about a me. But that activity in and of itself is just another, I guess, a learned activity. It's something that was somehow, it's like, because it's, from another perspective, it has nothing to do with anything. It's just like life doing its dance, It's like a tree has a million seeds. A lot of them get eaten by birds and squirrels, and then one seed lands on a beautiful, fertile piece of ground where another tree has just fallen over and it grows into a big tree. Another seed lands on a rocky outcrop where there's winds and it grows into a gnarly little tree. And it's the same mother, same seeds, and life doing its dance. And what does it mean if it's a big, strong tree or a gnarly little thing? It's like, it's just life. It's doing its, and you could say it's the karma of the one seed or something, but it's just, to me, it all seems absurd. It's just like, it's one thing. It's not separate from anything. Paramahamsa Yogananda he heard about Ramana and he went to go and visit him. And he said, what can we do to assist all the suffering people out there? And Ramana said, find out who's suffering. From, like such a different seeing, so depth of seeing. It's just like, yeah.
Anything can be.
Yeah, it's like, if you're looking at a puppet show and the one puppet is hitting the other puppet on the head, like Punch and Judy, and they having a big quarrel and stuff. But then you see up above, there's a puppeteer dancing with puppets. It's like, it's like, it's yeah. So you have these lives, these live streams happening. Interests come by themselves and leave by themselves. Different gifts, or it's just like, it's just doing its dance. Some are super healthy and others are have a different expression, but they all expressions of this, whatever this is. And yeah, somehow, it's just, how do we put this whole thing into words? So there's like that resting as source, as that from which everything arises. Yeah. And then, it's with luck at some point, this capacity to deeply inquire comes up, and just the noticing of anything that moves in a way that's I could say less than bliss. And just
Sometimes I feel like, how deep can you go in this expansion as a consciousness of understanding what source is, within the capacity that it gives you to recognize itself? And it's like, sometimes I feel like, it's so big, anything you can ever imagine. It just, sometimes it's just, I don't know how much is going to unfold actually through this particular vehicle, and it's kind of, sometimes it just gets like terrifying at some moment, because it's just kind of, it eats up all ideas. It just like absorbs more and more, and expands more and more. And I feel sometimes like this fear comes, like, oh, like it's really, really expanding, in understanding. And I kind of, okay, that's it. I just have to drop because it realizes itself and everything is fine.
And then maybe it arises to look at, see, what is fear?
Mhm,
What is that, and to whom does it belong? And just just really taking a moment. It's like we say fear arises, but what actually is it?
Identity.
Identity, and just going, really drilling, like just, okay, so is it a frequency? Is it a vibration? Who does it? Where does it come from? Just like really playing. And is it real? I mean,
No,
it's
fun.
for sure.
Comes and goes.
It comes, and sometimes quite
Yes,
strongly. Yeah. So
no, yes,
yeah.
Some parts of the, at some moment you just like, and then no, you
It's
just
just
gone, Yeah, it's true. It gets you sometimes, yeah. It's like the character is kind of afraid of the outer, which it's one and the same.
it's interesting, just in like something comes up, and then like a noticing happens or doesn't happen, identification happens or doesn't happen, inquiry happens or it doesn't happen. And yeah, we meet with other people that have the same passion and interest, what looks like other people, but it's like, just, you could say, all these expressions of the same thing that just come into resonance and generate a field together. And it's just like bathing in that field and participating. It seems to me that, like, in that quality of field, everyone benefits, and it just gets, it's like a magnifying glass. It just brings subtleties into view that we oftentimes don't see in the flow of our daily lives. Wow, how lucky is that? Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Mm. Yeah. Rena. Hello.
Hello. Really good to be reminded over and over again.
Yeah. Resting like this is pretty beautiful. Huh?
It's beautiful, yeah. It hasn't been that way in this system lately.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marina. Love and more love.
Yeah.
Sylvie.
Hi, Isaac.
Hey, Sylvie.
Can I rest with you?
Of course.
Hey, now.
What are you feeling?
Sweet vulnerability, love flow. Yeah, just very sweet.
Thank you.
Mm. Thanks, Sylvie.
Thank you so much, Isaac.
Champa.
I put you on view.
Thanks. Do you have a chance to get an SE session with that bump? Oh, good. Yeah. What, you had an accident or?
I wear a mask and it blinded the glasses, and I didn't get aware of an obstacle in front of me and just had a tough kiss with Earth.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
But it's good that you did SE with it, just to deal with anything residues there.
Yeah. There are some residues. I had an osteopathy already, and SE will come in February.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
I have a question, perhaps an odd question.
No problem.
I was wondering what's running the show, because the what we call the self or whatever is so pristine, so untouched. It's everywhere, but I can't feel anything coming out of it. You know what I mean? So the question came up: what's running the show? Is there anything, whatever?
Yeah, no, it's I don't know if anyone can really answer that question. It's like I think as humans, we tune to like a certain spectrum of the information, so we just see a small part of it. It's like, whoa. And as it gets, we know in our own experience, like the difference how life seems from when there's stress and when there's deep resting. Oh, it's such a different universe.
Yeah.
And then as that resting deepens, and it starts to get multidimensional, and it's like,
I like that.
I guess, I guess in a way it's like where this whole idea of God comes from, or something, and like that there's some supreme intelligence or something that has an agenda, or no agenda, or just, it's just, I mean, it's human mind wants to somehow grok it, but it's
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you.
Oh man, thank you. Wishing you an easy, fast, gentle recovery. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shanta. Thank you all for showing up. Ava, thank you for hosting.